in this game. I really can't even call a deciding advantage here if Frozean can keep the Ruby from mining that gas, and it looks like he's going to, but Ruby's taking the expansion in the mid left, and we've been seeing players not taking that. It's almost like reserving that to make sure they can get a safe fourth base if they're sure they can get a third base.
Oh, it looks like he made
and
a
Ruby
drop
dropping
there.
some units in upper left, so clearing that out. So Ruby's going to be able to get that gas. So Ruby's back up to 4 gas.
That was
but
big
here
right
comes
there.
Frozean's drop. Looks like a counter drop, and Ruby doesn't have any Goliaths to support these tanks.
Dropping a little far away from the tanks, but it doesn't matter. It just had so many more units. Still going to get the job done, although he took some unnecessary damage there. But those cute little efficient moves, that's what's keeping Ruby in the game up until this point, because Frozean pretty much outplaying him on every other front. Is blowing away some SCVs there some more. I mean, Frozean's got commanding map control now. He's got the top left as well as bottom right. So he's kind of got like 3 more important map positions right now. He just has to work on holding on to them, which looks like he's about to lose control of bottom right. Frozean with a big drop. Okay, now we see on the minimap that Frozean's Frozean's fleet of dropships is coming down. So he's actually going to get there in time to save that. And that is one of the most important parts in TVT, is just being really fast with your dropships. Like, as soon as you drop some units somewhere, fly them immediately back to your base, pick up as many units as you can, just so you're constantly ready to counter the drops. And I think so far Frozean's done a better job of that, even though he just dropped right on top of a mine and ate one. So that was pretty big. A lot of his tanks getting damaged, but again, he's holding on, and that's all he really needs to do here. Okay, this is going to be really close.
That was a nice counter drop there from Ruby. I mean, he's definitely fighting for that bottom right. He's not giving it up, but Frozean, at least, has some ground. He's been mining gas from the bottom right natural for a long time, and he's taking the upper left main. So Frozean is definitely A-okay on resources, but I think Ruby's actually doing okay on resources too. He's not that far behind, so
no, he's
Ruby's
just
definitely not out of
it.
But I really think that Frozean is just kind of slowly gaining a lead, and Ruby can definitely make a good play here. We see Ruby stopping that gas in the bottom right natural, and Ruby dropping a lot more units there, and I don't think Frozean is going to be able to break this, but Ruby's Goliaths actually weren't in position, and Frozean just dropped a lot of units there. Ruby really, I think, could have at least done some damage there. Yeah, Ruby just barely holding it, but if he would have had all of his Goliaths targeting the dropships, he would have been a lot better off there. And wow, Ruby losing some dropships now from Frozean's turret. A little bit of careless micro there. Dropships are really important. You want to keep all your dropships alive so you can focus all your resources on units and not have to pay attention to building more dropships and stuff. So that really hurts both players there. Once again, just constantly exchanging units, taking blows, hit for hit, really the whole game.
Yeah, it's good that Ruby is kind of sort of taking control of that area. I think that was the key for him, because that's where he's going to get his 4th gas, and he really needs it at this point, because Frozean's had at least 4 gas for a while now. Even though Frozean was able to drop some units there. Okay, a lot of dropships coming down for Frozean. Frozean looks like he's going to take control of this area again, and that's just where that huge gas advantage comes from. I mean, if all these dropships are full, I don't know if Ruby can keep up with that. Even though he's got more units there and he reinforced it again, he's just going to lose control of the area again, and now he's going to drop more units there. And if we look, I mean, he's getting his dropships back up quickly. Hopefully he has some units waiting there. Okay, he's got at least a few. He's got to get those down there and finally consolidate that position. That's what's going to really win the game for him. If he can consolidate his control over the bottom right, that's really the key area of the map right now that both players are contesting, where either player has a chance to get it. And it's really important right now. Either that or Ruby could always try to go for top left so he can clear the cliff there and mine the gas. If you notice the expansion at the kind of mid-top left, the gas is close to the cliff, and so even though Ruby controls that area, he can't mine gas because of tanks on the cliff. Okay, now Frozean's actually going to go and clear that expansion out finally, even though, I mean, it's not really going to hurt Ruby too much because that expansion really wasn't doing a whole lot for him. He doesn't even have SCVs there, really, so that's not making a huge difference in the game at this point. It's still all about the bottom right.
Yeah, Frozean just really cementing his lead there, and I think taking out the command center really will end it. I mean, Ruby, it looks like going for, not necessarily a doom drop, but definitely a pretty heavy drop for only going for that looks like second expansion there outside of Frozean's base. And all those tanks, there's really not a lot of room for those tanks to siege, and Frozean just, dropping all on top of those
right
tanks.
on top of it.
That drop pretty much did nothing, and I think Ruby's pretty much done for at this point. I mean, he's going to be running out of drops here pretty soon. He just can't keep up. And Frozean, up until this point, is pretty much playing pure defensively. And wow, somehow Ruby actually survives with loses the tank, but somehow he's actually alive there for a little bit. But
he actually blew apart a lot of tanks, man.
Yeah. He did something, but Frozean has just been keeping his dropships, grabbing units, and then defending the drops, and he's just been holding his bases, and Ruby's really going to run out of steam here. He just can't keep up with everything Frozean is sending his way, and now Frozean's starting to play aggressive, constantly moving in that bottom right, and that's really Ruby's last hope, is keeping that gas up, because right now I'm guessing he has 2 gases plus 2 depleted geysers, so he's at least mining a decent amount, but that really can't keep up with Frozean's. I think he's got 3 or 4 full geysers at this point, plus whatever he's been mining in the upper right, and now Frozean landing in bottom right, so Frozean with full control of both mains, and I think this is really game over for Ruby. I think Ruby's going to be heading out of this group.
I don't see him coming back from this. Yeah, I don't see how he can possibly win this game at this point. He's just way too far behind. He's got to really hope for a miracle with one of these drops, but Frozean's just been on top of his shit in terms of keeping the air control. He's had a bigger fleet of dropships this entire time. He's been really quick about getting them around the map and getting them back to his base and refilling them really quick. And I think that the gas on that 3rd expansion for Ruby on the 7 o'clock expansion down there, or sorry, I should say the 5 o'clock expansion down there, that's going to get depleted pretty soon as well, I think. It's been up for a while. And once that gets depleted, it's pretty much just game over. And it's just basically bound to happen. Okay, not even going to wait that long. GG. Well played by Frozean. I got to give him props. He definitely outplayed Ruby in a lot of ways. So, showing some skill there. Maybe he's actually going to be able to compete with Kanata. We're just going to have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah, so Ruby heading out of the group, and Frozean getting one more chance to play against Kanata for a chance out of this group. But Kanata's TVT, even against Nada, I think he looked really good, and he wasn't really behind that far, but it seemed like his long game TVT really faltered, and he was ahead in the beginning, and then he just kind of slowly lost control of the game to a more experienced late game player like Nada. And Frozean's late game play, although it really wasn't tested by an amazing player, he did play pretty well this game. So Frozean definitely has a shot in beating Kanata, although I would still definitely give Kanata on the favorite on Carthage, I believe, which up until this point has been a pretty long macro favored map. And so I think we may see another 14cc or some very macro build, although it is a 1v1 map, so we could see some crazy cheese too.
I'm kind of hoping for some crazy cheese. It is a new map, and I just want to see, what these guys can come up with, what to do. I'm also definitely going to have to pick Kanata to come out on top. As much as Frozean did look pretty good in that game, just it wasn't against the highest level of competition. And Kanata, yeah, he looked good against Nada too, even though he lost that game. He definitely did a lot of things right. He just hit, the contain that he tried to pull off just was not worth it in the end, and he slowly lost the ground. But I'm looking forward to it. It's probably going to be a pretty good game. So, any final thoughts before we move on here?
No, I guess we're all set. Wrapping this up and moving on to the 5th game, the final game of the set, and stay tuned for that game.
All right, let's do it.